Bonjour, Rue Madame patrons. Thank you so much for stopping to smell the roses on Rue Madame. I am still in the United States, so I am um, not in my home environment, so I feel kind of out of place, but I am back. Thank you guys so much for being wonderful residents in this neighborhood. As you know, I was on a short hiatus only for a couple weeks finally because I thought I would need more time. But I am back and I feel so much better of having a short break where I could just relax and brush up on like my writing without feeling pressure to publish something right away. So I have like a lot of unpublished work. Like I'm like, oh, I want to share this with you guys, but I didn't feel like it was complete. So I'm like, oh, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to give anything that I don't feel like it's complete. So I have so much like one, two, three, maybe a half dozen unpublished articles, essays, short stories where I'm like still working on it. But I want to start fresh. So there's so many events and news stories that have come and gone. So it's just a lot, like a lot. But like I said, I'm still here. So I'm like in American news, even though when I was in back at home, I felt like I was focused on American news anyway. But there's been a lot of stuff happening here and there. But since right now it's Olympics time, and I don't know why, I grew up like loving the Olympics, like loving it. And like I'm not a big athlete, which is weird. It's like if I was a big athlete, that would make more sense. But I don't know. I just love the sports that I wish I could have done when I was a child. Like, I did gymnastics for a short period of time. Um, and then I liked volleyball in high school, and I wanted to be a part of the team, but I never really was. And what other sports do I like? I like to watch the swimming. Do you guys like the swimming? I feel like that's everybody's favorite to watch because it's just so, you know, doesn't everybody wish they can swim? Like that's it's just me. I don't know. But yes, I can swim, and I always make fun. I say I don't know how to swim well, but I know how to like survive if need be. You know what I mean? But I do enjoy swimming, and me and John Paul did a lot of laps while he was here. He's actually back in France. Oh my goodness. So I'm alone. But yeah, swimming, what else? And gymnastics. And you know I like tennis. I already wrote several articles about my idols, Venus and Serena, of course. But tennis was always a soft spot, like ever since I was saw them in beads and grew up with beads in my hair. But gymnastics, since I was a gymnast for a very short period of time when I was like 7 or 8 or something like that. Um, but the big story recently was Simone Biles, and I think I've mentioned Simone Biles in my articles. Um, and I just think it's like deja vu. Isn't this? It's deja vu, no? About mental health and the expectations of athletes in general. In general, expectations of athletes or expectations of celebrities. That includes politicians. And maybe I'm guilty of that too, like expecting them to do more than they're capable of. But recently, it's Simone Biles in the hot seat and her being called out for withdrawing from her team event. And I think she was supposed to or expected to win the all around, and she's really good on the well, all all the apparatuses, but the vault she's really good at, the floor routine, everything. And I really do love gymnastics. And I really love Simone Biles, and it's been like a hoopla, a backlash about this, her not competing because she has the, what did they call it, the twisties or something like that. I think that's where your mind and body aren't aligned. Maybe I've had the twisties too, because I think I've mentioned that before too, not just being aligned. I'm sure I'm going to make a link in the description of this video, because I'm sure I've mentioned me not being in alignment and that affecting my writing. Just tell me if I'm wrong. Haven't I mentioned this? Anyways, back to gymnastics. So I was really looking forward to her, being the best, being the greatest. But I obviously completely understood why she was more concerned about her health and her physical well-being, like, you know. But it became a political thing in the United States. I feel like everything, maybe over the last couple of years, maybe since the last administration, or maybe since Obama, I'm not sure. Maybe it's always been like this, but since I was a child, I never really understood how politics works. But like, people are calling her unpatriotic and selfish, and some are calling her incredibly brave too. So there's both sides of this weird coin. But I always already mentioned this, how athletes, celebrities, but specifically since we're talking about Simone Biles, how black athletes, black women especially, because we also saw this with Naomi Osaka, the tennis player, young multiracial black athlete who said, "No, I don't want to talk to media because it gives me a lot of anxiety." Did something on that, and now we're on Simone Biles. So that's why I said it's like deja vu. But I just think it's really funny. And you know me, I've said it a million times. I'm more intrigued by the reaction of a particular event or story than the actual story itself. So I think, she obviously made the right decision to, her own personal decision to let her teammates represent the United States and do their performances, etc. But how the world of sports and the political world kind of like imploded because this young, I don't know how old she is, 21 now, 22-year-old girl is like, I remember seeing something about a political figure, not even a political figure, a political commentator or influencer saying, well, that's just like a soldier running away from battle or running away from a fight. That's equivalent to Simone Biles, a 22-year-old black girl gymnast, not wanting to put her health in danger to perform at Olympic Games. Yeah, that's the same. But I just think it's all very trivial. It's just silly. Like, really, this is a thing? And it's just like it's like people don't want to give people the space for their mental health and health care, even though we always talk about mental health and health care when we're talking about, oh, it's mental health care awareness month, or when there's a school shooter, oh, now we have to talk about mental health because somebody shot up a school, and clearly this young, disturbed individual has mental issues. So, we have to focus on mental health. And we go in those cycles, but when somebody actually says, okay, I'm going to actually focus on my mental health and I'm not going to do X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 it's like, oh no, it's like not very consistent or believable as far as, and I think it all ties into, um, actually, it all ties to money. And I hate to make it about that, but like her not performing, for example, Simone Biles not performing in the Olympics hurts marketing and ads and the image of the United States um, looking weak, and it just all affects the power um, image and the monetary aspect of um, athletes specifically being exploited for their bodies and them not making a profit off of that. And of course, it's not just that. As I said, it's a lot deeper than that. Um, but it's really complicated. Not complicated, but layered. That's a better word. It's very layered as far as this Simone Biles Olympics fiasco. So, like I said, we have Osaka, Biles, and don't forget our princess or Duchess of England, Mrs. Marco. Marco. And I've also done a video on that. And it's, again, deja vu, but it also touches me personally because as I get older and as I look back at the younger version of myself, I really kind of neglected my mental health and neglected myself as far as paying attention to what I really wanted and fighting through things, ignoring my body, ignoring my wants and desires to please either a job or a friend or a boyfriend or my parents, or trying to fit an image of, going to school and graduating and, you know what I mean, being perfect when the expectations are kind of not very realistic. So, all these women I mentioned, and there's many, many, many more, and many, many more to come. I just think it's worth acknowledging again because it will not be the last time we hear of. But I really want to get to know what you guys have been up to. What's new? It's the beginning of August. Happy birthday to my grandma. It's her birthday today. But I want this to be a lively and rambunctious neighborhood block party comeback. You know what I mean? I'm excited to get back to my writing and fill you in on what's been going on uh, since this vacation here in the United States. So tell me if you guys are watching the Olympics, because that's what I'm doing to, like, I don't know, waste time. It's not a waste of time. I actually am. I feel more patriotic than I feel like I should be. But I guess that's just, again, growing up here. Always wanted to be the best of the best of the best, sir. Anyways, so yeah, tell me what's going on with you guys, if you're watching the Olympics or if you're doing anything interesting as far as creating things, writing, art, drawing. I know my husband is working on something very special that he's going to be broadcasting maybe at the end of the year. So let me know, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.